Before we get started, a quick word from our sponsor, Community Financial's President CEO Tansley Stern's podcast, Despite Impossible. Now on to the show.
Studio Lounge interviews brought to you by our esteemed sponsors. Thank you, everybody.
Hey everybody, Mike Lawson here with CU Broadcast. Welcome back to our continued coverage of the 2025 GAC here in beautiful Washington, D.C. And in the Studio Lounge, we have Quint's very own Ankit Singh. How are you, Ankit? How are you?
Very well. Thank you so much, Mike, for having me over here. Very excited to be.
You're welcome. Yeah, well, we're glad to have you here. And I'm kind of asking everybody, just kind of as a warm-up question, what's the buzz in the hallway? What are you hearing over the past few days? What's the topic that is catching your imagination, your attention?
Sure. Amongst many things, the least is tax, of course. So everybody,
a lot of tax talk, yes.
A lot of tax talk, but then there have been some very good discussions regarding financial crime prevention. I've had some very intriguing discussions with a lot of credit unions about the upcoming AI-related advances, the threat, the good piece of it, the bad, how to manage it. So that was one of the buzzwords I heard. It was AI.
Yeah, you can't take two breaths without talking about AI these days for sure. And before we get going, give us a quick elevator speech or a quick summary on Quint. What do you guys do, and how do you guys help out credit unions?
Yeah, absolutely. So Quint Financial Technologies, we're a New York-based company.
Oh, you're right up the road. Okay.
Yeah,
and trip for you.
Yes, and we provide a whole suite of solutions and services, primarily with GRC as the spearhead of our company. We continue to work with a lot of credit unions and banks alike, but for credit unions particularly, we appreciate the whole member connect.
Yeah.
And our job is to make things simpler for you, for the credit union, so that they can focus on member experience, how to sharpen their member experience, while we help them with the back office work. So one of our parts is back office support,
right.
And the other part is about solutions, a streak of products where kind of help the credit unions to harness the power of AI, machine learning, make sure that they can understand how they can use data properly, and then utilize it to maximize the return.
So when you're talking to a credit union, what's the biggest hurdle that they're experiencing? What's keeping them from moving forward in this area? Because I'm sure you're talking to a lot of credit unions, obviously.
Yes.
So what are you hearing out there as far as what's keeping them from progressing in this area?
Sure. Yeah. A couple of things. Great question. So, taking my note from yesterday's discussion with a couple of credit unions, I heard was that sometimes they're not able to. They don't know how to start.
Yeah.
What is the three-step? What is the three-step process towards AI adoption, or to digital transformation, or to enhance their member experience? A lot of credit unions, if you're $1 billion or below in asset size, we have bandwidth issues, right? So we find that they find it challenging on how do they manage the branch experience versus the digital infrastructure. How do they use digital interface better so that the members can resonate better with the services. They can use more of their products. So those are some of the things. What are the 3 steps to get X? And that's where we come in. We provide them a lot of education, a lot of assistance under how to plan out your move in terms of adopting a new interface or a new advancement in technology.
Yeah, I think if you can provide them with a clear path on how to get going with this stuff, I think then we're all good there for sure. So, because I've been hearing a lot of people are on the fence about this. I mean, obviously there's some very progressive credit unions out there that are already well down the road with their AI adventures, but so there's others that need a little bit of a push. And I think what you just explained is a good way to get going. So what are some key trends that you're seeing in 2025 that credit unions must look up to streamline their operations? What are you seeing out there right now?
Sure, absolutely. One of the biggest things I see now in our discussions currently is, I take it from the EU AI Act. It went live in August of 2024, and it has, amongst its main purpose, one of the purposes is human-centric AI.
Is this Europe you're talking about?
Yes.
EU? Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming. Usually, what we've seen is there is a lot of
starts
things,
over there, comes over here.
Yeah, so they're good with regulations per se. So I heard that, and in my discussions with a lot of credit unions, I've understood that, hey, I want to use AI, but I don't understand how do I hope it doesn't replace my staff, right? I'm not trying to replace staff, I'm trying to improve member experience. So taking a note from the EU Act, I read about it, and we've done a lot of research around it, and I heard that, hey, what is human-centric AI? It's human in the loop. You're not trying to replace, you're trying to assist.
Yeah.
Right? It's like the co-pilot, right? So I was doing 10 things to finish a process. How can I increase the efficiency? It's not that how can I replace myself or another resource. So that's where I think a big trend that I've seen in my discussions along with a lot of credit unions is, hey, how do I harness the power of data, and then how do I use AI to maximize my return? Another topic that I heard was about deposit growth.
Oh yeah. So it's been a topic for a couple of years now.
Yeah. So we've been able to understand. Again, you have to understand what the member is, currently banking with you. What are the services that they're using with you? How else can you? So if they have an auto loan, how can you move into another product? How do you cross-sell, upsell, inform, educate, right? So right now, like a Gen Z member has a plethora of experiences that they go through, right? They have the big banks, they have fintechs, they have so many avenues, unlike the previous generation.
Yep.
So therefore the credit unions have to be a little bit more aggressive and assertive and also educative in terms to let the members know what are the products they have. And that's where we see that there's a lot of information exchange and education that's required. So those are the recent trends that I've seen. And last but not the least, fraud, of course, is with all the advancements in AI and machine learning, our use of mobile and online, it has obviously exploded the fraud avenue.
Well, yeah, the bad guys are using AI as well, right?
Yes, they're always a step ahead.
Yes.
I don't know why and how, but they are.
Well, they got nothing else better to do.
Yeah. So what we've done over there, like I was in a session yesterday, a great session where they were talking about fraud prevention and the advocacy part, and I heard in that discussion where, business email compromise is still an issue. This was an issue 5 years back.
It's still there.
It's still there.
Yeah.
A lot of bad characters are coming in, impersonating as executives of the organization, and there you go.
Yeah.
Now, how do is cyber, you put a cyber firm, or a technology over there, is that enough? But how do you do education, right? Don't click this email. How do you make sure that they can understand that, your employees, your members? So I think there's one of the key parts is education.
Yeah.
So
well, you got to keep reinforcing that message for sure. Yes, because we've all been guilty of it, clicking on saying, "Oh no, I didn't mean to click on." Oh no, and all sorts of mayhem breaks out. But that's a whole other show for sure. So what are some other recent developments at Quint that you want to share?
Yeah, absolutely. We're very excited in terms of our adoption of technology. So we're moving, as I said, at the heart of the company is the human-centric effort. So we provide a lot of support in terms of FTEs to a lot of credit unions. But also what we've also done is the promise of automation and efficiency increase. So over there, we have come out with a lot of new solutions. We have our advanced dispute manager, we have an advanced fraud manager, which basically, like I was at a credit union in West Coast, and he said, "Hey, I use your platforms and I love it." I said, "What happened? Can you give us an example? Is there something recently that happened?" He said, "Yeah, my CEO was visiting a branch, and the branch owner said, 'Hey, can you give me a report? I need to report it down to the CEO.' So it was very easy for the branch person to just go into the case manager, click a button and have a report of what is open recently, how many transactions, what are the trends, and they could have a very strong discussion around that. So rather than wasting time, you were actually using your time judiciously to engage in a good discussion and productive discussion.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's how the case manager, it's just one example about reporting. But what it also does, it allows you, like if in your dispute management control, we're not giving you a system just for managing the claims. We're giving you a product and a service around that, which helps to uplift your entire dispute management process, the entire process by itself. So whether it is opening a claim, understanding how what the challenge member went through, understanding when to give the provisional credit, when does the regulation kick in, how do you manage the chargeback of it. So it is an end-to-end solution. We're not just picking one piece of the pie. So those are some advancements we have made. And additionally, last but not the least, Gen AI is already there, and we have Gen AI at Quint. So we've recently come up with a product called AICOM 2.0, which is primarily, it helps you as a credit union to respond to your members through email automation very quickly and accurately.
Okay.
So we've been servicing a lot of institutions where the member reps are talking to the members, and they take 20 minutes to respond to a member, and they have to extract information from 10 different systems. Well, AI.com is here. It will extract everything seamlessly. It will prep, it will get you the right response, and then you can eyeball and click the send. So the human review is still there. It can fully automate, but we prefer that the human sees it. So those are some of the advancements we've made, and we've got some very good traction on that.
That's cool. That's going to be very popular.
I
think so. If it's not popular already, it's going to be. So yeah. So with the complex financial landscape that we're all experiencing today, how can U.S. credit unions leverage outsourcing to boost efficiency, cut costs, and stay compliant while managing third-party risks?
Absolutely, great question. So, see, what I've learned, especially now with the current, flavor of things that is happening, the trends that have, change is constant, right? So today you might be comfortable in your current skin, but tomorrow it'll get old. You have to be with the trend. So and the best way is you need to work with experts. So working with third parties is an integral part, but yes, there are risks attached to it. So there has to be a fine balance in adoption of something new versus making sure that it has the right infrastructure. And that's what we do. Like in one of our services for a lot of credit unions, we do vendor risk management. We provide risk management on how to manage third parties better. So there are aspects, you have tools, you have educations, you have so much of content available already. There's a lot of regulatory pressure as well, right? The first thing that a regulator will come and see
Look where we are.
Yeah,
where it all starts.
Yeah, so the first thing they ask is, hey, okay, as a BSA officer, how did you come to this conclusion? Why was this a red flag, and what did you do after that, right? So you need a lot of documentation. So what we promote as a part of our service and product is to make sure that the credit union is empowered with the right decision making and with a good documentation landscape, so that tomorrow in their discussions they have everything. So they have a good review with the regulator, and they can focus on how to improve rather than, oh, I had an incident, now I have to go back, open it up, find
it. Makes it much more efficient, right? Efficiency is the key.
Absolutely. So that's the number one driver of our brand as well. So in order to help the credit unions, I think in this landscape, one of the things is, yes, we want to educate you what is happening in the market, right? We have one of the unique pleasures of working with both the banks as well as credit unions. So there's a lot of differences in trends we are able to catch much faster, and that's the education we bring back to the credit unions, right? Like in my discussion yesterday, we were talking about how you could use the AI.com not just for external but also for internal communication, right? So how does your loan department talk to your fraud department, to your dispute department, to the member experience? So there is a lot of, this is a big complex.
How would AI come into that?
Right, so great question. So what happens is that there's a lot of transfer of exchange of information that happens from one department to the other.
Unless you're researching something, right?
Sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm just thinking out loud. Sorry.
No worries.
Go ahead, Ankit, I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying that, that transaction has so many repetitive actions.
Right.
So one of the things in AI is repetitive work, right? You can easily make an automated format from a repetitive work activity. So that's how AI comes in now. A lot of documentation has to pass through many different departments within the organization before it gets really approved, like a loan document or a loan application, right? So how does the BSA officer review it? How does the operations team review it? How does the member experience review it? So there's repetitive action that has to be done. That's where AI comes in.
Gotcha. Okay, the light bulb goes on. Thank you for that. I appreciate the clarity there. Kind of a wrap-up question, kind of an outlook for 2025 on all this technology. I mean, where are we going with it, and how are you guys going to play a part in it? So just kind of a wrap-up question there. What's the outlook for 2025?
Yeah, I think it's really exciting time. With every challenge, there's an opportunity. It's the way you look at it, half full or half empty.
Well, this one's half full, I think.
So we're looking at half full as well, and we believe that I think credit unions are poised at the right place with this entire, shift in regulatory pressure. I think there's so many opportunities for us to increase our member experiences. We have to look at the void between regulation as well as making it easy, right? So that void has to be filled up, and I think it's a great time for us to be in the financial sector, because every time a change comes in, it opens up so many opportunities, right? And for AI, I just say last one that it's not that automation is going to replace a human being. It's a human being who uses AI may replace a human being who doesn't know. So upgrade yourself.
That's the saying that I've heard too.
Right,
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I would say that.
Such a great, such a timely statement indeed. So good stuff. All right. Well, anything else, Ankit, to wrap up here before I let you go on the rest of the show today?
No, I'm very happy to be here, and thank you so very much.
Gosh,
and
you're
it's been
welcome.
a great show.
Good.
And
good.
I look forward to making it awesome for this year as well.
Indeed. Well, I look forward to the next conversation. And some of those Craigians that you talked about, let's get them on the show and share their experience. So
Absolutely.
that would be wonderful.
We'll work on
good
that.
stuff. All right, Ankit, thank you so much.
Thank you.
There is Ankit from Quint Financial Technologies. Good job,
you.
sir. Well done.
Studio Lounge interviews brought to you by our esteemed sponsors. Thank you, everybody.
A quick word from our sponsor, Community Financial's present CEO, Tansley Stearns' new podcast, Despite Impossible.